everyone out there in social media and YouTube land. I am Jay Sudharma with CCLI, and I am joined with Casey Marvin, owner and CEO and president of Veritas Guitars. Casey, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to ask you about the name Veritas Guitars. Where did that come about, and what was like the ideation process, and what are your thoughts there?
That's kind of a funny story. So my buddy Jeff, he owns a drum company called Truth Custom Drums. And he was kind of the one who pushed me to get into building guitars. I'd known him for years. And I bought a Harvard t-shirt from a thrift store a long time ago. And I was at church, and their slogan was Veritas. And so it said Veritas underneath, and I was at church, and somebody's like, "Hey, Truth." And I'm like, it's Harvard, I went to Harvard, obviously. I didn't go to Harvard. And but then I heard that, and I'm like, oh, that would be a good guitar name. So when I started the company, I was like, hey, Jeff, Veritas, Truth Drums, they kind of go along with each other. So that's kind of,
nice.
That's where it came from.
So Veritas Guitars has gained quite a bit of popularity in the worship world and in the Christian music world. What do you think's been like the biggest factor to that?
Yeah, God. A lot of the guys down at Bethel, they were kind of the ones who got behind it and helped promote it. They were the first to be really vocal about it. Chris Greeley and Bobby Strand of Bethel, I worked with both of them before they went down to Bethel, and we were really good friends. So they were kind of the ones who introduced it into that market, I guess you'd say. And it's all relational, I have a really great relationship with all those guys, and as you meet more people in that circle, it just kind of gets stronger and stronger. And so I would say, I think they all like our guitars, otherwise they wouldn't be playing them, but I think first and foremost it's our relationship kind of helped build that.
Just kind of piggybacking off that, I just love the heart and the meaning and kind of the story behind Veritas, and I think it's really apparent that giving back to the community is a priority for you, and that's really important to you. I really like what you did for Brian Sessler and the Don't Lose Hope campaign. Can you give us some thoughts and some insight about that?
Yeah, that was kind of an accident. Well, not an accident. It started, I'll give it a little bit really quick detail. So my buddy David, he's a filmmaker, and we had a dear friend of ours who had his house flooded, and we were supposed to build him a guitar, and he had to cancel his order. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna build it for him anyway. David, you wanna film it? And he's like, yeah. Well, one thing led to another. We ended up flying to Alabama. This isn't Brandon, this is a guy named Matthew Howard. We flew to Alabama and surprised him with the guitar, and we were gonna do like a little 5 to 8 minute long webisode kind of a thing. And we got so much footage and so much stuff for it, and it was heart-wrenching. It literally changed our lives. It was crazy. And it turned out to be like a 45-minute long mini documentary kind of thing that we're almost done with. It's been a long process, but anyway, so we thought that was it. And then we went to NAMM, the NAMM show in Anaheim, and this guy comes up to me, and he's like, do the "and we're live," because on Facebook Live I always go, "and we're live," And so he was like, do your "and we're live" thing. And so I was like, let's do it together. We're on Facebook Live, and he takes his hat off, and I see this big scar. And I was like, what's the scar from? He goes, oh, I have brain cancer. And instantly I got off Facebook, I deleted that one. And I just started crying.
Yeah.
And I lost a dear friend of mine to brain cancer not long before that, so it kind of hit home.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know his story. I didn't know if he was a Christian or not, but I asked him, I was like, can I pray with you? And he's like, sure. And I couldn't hold it together, so I grabbed my buddy Chris. I'm like, this guy's got brain cancer, you gotta pray for him.
Wow.
So we just huddled up in the middle of NAMM,
Yeah.
the Anaheim Convention Center, just
That's so cool.
group of guys. We're praying with them, and then I felt like God was saying, okay, you're gonna do the same thing with this guy. And so at the end of the prayer, I was like, can I build you a guitar? And she's like, are you serious? And so we got a bunch of people involved, and we filmed that, and we surprised him.
Yeah.
It was different because he knew he was getting the guitar, but Chris Benson Amps,
Yeah.
donated an amp to him as well.
It's amazing.
So that's going to be another
Yeah.
episode, and so we kind of decided that we want to, with that whole thing, instead of giving guitars away to artists, we want to invest into people and show people what Christ-like love is, and supporting one another, and kind of be an example of things. And I don't know, that's kind of what so far it seems to be.
Yeah. It's amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Casey, do you have any additional thoughts or words of encouragement for the musicians and songwriters and worship leaders in our CCLI family?
Yeah, a lot of people ask me all the time, what makes our guitars more special and what kind of gear they should have to do it, and all of that's great. Not having nice gear to make the job easier is great, but I always try and encourage people to not put the focus on the equipment that's being used, but put the focus on Jesus and make sure that it is worship. Because a lot of the times, getting a nice guitar or an amp or pedals becomes the distraction, and there's nothing wrong to have any of that. I think it's sometimes it strikes a hunger to create more songs. It makes your life a lot easier, gives you better tones, all the fun stuff that we all know and love. But just make sure, I strongly want to make sure that everyone understands that it's worship, and it needs to be glorifying to God and lifted up to Him first and foremost. So that's what I always say. And even though I own a guitar company and I rely on people to buy my guitars, I still want to encourage people to do that.
That's so cool. Super important.
Yeah.
So we've got the custom CCLI guitar here. Casey, can you give us a quick rundown on what makes this special and kind of the story behind the guitar?
But you guys approached us and wanted us to build a, kind of something that represented both parties, something that we would do, we'd be proud of, but something that didn't quite scream CCLI, but was very, into,
right,
in that ballpark.
On brand, but not like a NASCAR.
Right,
decal.
Not just a, funky shape of your logo and all that stuff. So we did a lot of really subtle CCLI things. The color is a CCLI color, but it was fun. We wanted to do a little bit experimenting with it. So we did double bound white binding with the CCLI color top and back, but we did it in a metallic to kind of give it a little bit more flair. But then we did a satin black side, so you have gloss top and back with a satin side, which is a really cool contrast. Then we did ebony CCLI logo caps on the volume and tone knobs, just to add something subtle.
It's a nice touch.
Then we also did the logo back here on the nameplate, the CCLI logo, and then we did it on the back of the headstock in mother of pearl.
Yeah, I love that.
So everything's really subtle, and so it's not like it wouldn't be embarrassing to play live,
Right.
But at the same time, it's very much
right.
CCLI. We have our Bearcat pickups in here, which is it's become our most popular pickup for the worship market, and which is great. This is the only set of pickups we don't sell. So the only way you can get these is in a Veritas guitar, which is kind of fun, We do have other pickups that we sell. These are ones that we just want to keep proprietary to Veritas.
Gotcha.
Which is a lot of fun. But other than that, it's pretty standard Veritas setup. It's got the Bigsby and the rolling tunematic. It's a 25.5-inch scale, which is your Fender scale length is what you would normally have on one of those guitars. It's got a compound radius, 9.5 at the nut, and flattens out to a 16 at the saddle, so it's a little bit easier for lead up high, you know, and then flattens out better for chording, or I mean, rounds out better for chording down at the near the nut. But rosewood fingerboard, quarter sun maple neck, so it's pretty standard setup all in all. So it's gonna get you a lot of that what the Bethel guys are using, you know, a lot of that tone that people are becoming more in love with, you know, through as they continue to put out records. This is kind of that standard setup.
Nice. Well, Casey, thank you so much for joining us and spending a little bit of time here with us, and just thank you for your heart for worship and your growing role in just your contributions to Christian music and allowing for some of these, you know, guitar players to just create the music that our community loves to sing. And just here at CCLI, we're proud to partner with you for this giveaway, and we're just proud to be able to present this opportunity to the community that we love. So again, thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I'm more than happy to be a part of it.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Talk to you soon.